The odds of going pro using 40,000 marbles. Talk to me. Give the stream key to Katie.
At least today.
She don't deserve it, bro. She don't deserve it. My fault. I was not listening. You deserve my entire attention. All right? YouTube, y'all gonna stay for this.
This is how many men there are. At least today on this planet.
And I just saw some rage bait, so y'all gonna have to stick for it again. Everything I love.
We're popping
Dead
it.
ass.
Benjamin Netanyahu is now following.
Netanyahu! Yo, take a follow back, bro. All right, let me log in.
This is how many men there are. At least today on this planet. Each of these marbles represents 100,000 men.
Damn.
There are roughly 4 billion of us. Almost all of us, women and men, will play a sport at some point in time.
Yo, let me tell y'all.
Very few of us.
Let me tell y'all, I was actually a baseball demon. Oh my lord, dog. When I tell y'all I was the next coming of Shohei Ohtani, y'all may not believe me. Nigga, I was like, first of all, I was playing in Little League like 3 years above what I was supposed to be, first. Second, they had me pitching, main pitcher, so like, that's how you know I was really like that. Third, I was like the runner-up hitter. What's that? What's the one where they put you up for the grand slam? Whatever that position was. Now I might have been like 9, 10 years old, but I was still one of one. You look like you play baseball. I did. And then there was one game, this big body, like, okay, y'all know how big I am, right? Look at my size. Look at my size. Imagine this in like a 12-year-old child. That's who was pitching against me. Nigga threw a heater. Something crazy. When I tell you the bitch zing, right to the center of my eyeball, never touched baseball again. Ever. I literally left it for them niggas because I hate that shit. Was so terrifying. I try to play again. I try to finish out the season. Every time I got up to bat, my hands would start shaking because that's how scared I was of the fucking ball. If it wasn't for him, I would be a fucking sensational baseball player. And now I'm just a person who wants to stream. Like, holy fall off.
Will ever make it to the pinnacle.
6'1", 270 at 12. I swear to God, that's how big that nigga was.
Top. Let's start
I swear to
with
God,
the
bro.
global game. The more literal version of football.
I think, okay, we should all... Never mind. That was probably pointless yap. I caught myself. It's probably why you don't like arrows. Maybe.
It's the most challenging sport.
Oh my God,
to
that's
evaluate,
my
as many
PTSD.
countries do not accurately track registrations. At least one country does, and that's the birthplace, England. According to the Football Association of England, there are 68,295 registered football players that are 14 years old.
I played football a little bit. I was a
Over the
defender,
last
though.
4 years,
I was tough.
246
I
English
wasn't. I
football
was
players
ass.
made their debuts with the English Premier League, what many consider to be the top
Yeah.
domestic league with the most depth. We'll average that and say there are 61 and a half English rookies.
You talking about
each
soccer?
year.
That's what I'm talking about,
So,
football.
what are the odds of
Football.
a 14-year-old making
I played
it to the
defense.
top
I
domestic
was,
league in England? About 1 in 1,110 will make it
I don't
to
know what
ACL.
position I had.
What are the
Damn.
odds of making it for the entire English male population? About 1 in every 5,639.
Okay, but am I tripping? Isn't football like it's one of those sports where it's like there's so many pro leagues across the world. Yeah, you might not make it in the league in your country, but you can go anywhere. Is Premier League the league of the country of the world? I feel like there's more places you can go to like make a pro career that isn't the Premier League and still get paid the same. Like, it's not like the NBA where everyone culminates there, you know, or like the NFL where everyone culminates there. The Liga, Bundesliga, yeah, okay, like that's what I'm saying. There's other places that you can go other than the Premier League that it's like you're still at the top of your class. Now, there's still a lot more people trying to play football than these other sports, but I feel like you have a little bit more of a chance because like there's that many more.
Across the pond to a game that is played on a frozen pond. Hockey.
I would
First
never play
organized
hockey.
game was
I
held
never
in
played hockey.
1875 in Montreal. Today, over 452,000 Canadians are registered on organized teams. Hockey is clearly the most popular sport for our brothers to the north, and
Oh yeah, for
fortunately,
Canada for sure.
Hockey Canada provides wonderful data for youth registrations. Similar to football in England, Hockey in Canada is ideal given the unlikelihood of other sports to cannibalize the best athletes. If we break this down to a little more than 30,000 14-year-olds are playing hockey in Canada, who is also responsible for the most NHL players, 295 on opening night. About 120 rookies make their NHL debut every year, so if we apply this Canadian weight of 41.7%, that means roughly 50 of them will be Canadian on average each year. So, what are the odds of making it to the show? At least if you're Canadian? About 1 in 613 if you're playing youth hockey.
What the fuck? That's amazing odds. 1 in 613? What? That's such great odds. Isn't hockey like a high entry level sport though? Like you have to buy all the equipment and shit and it's expensive as fuck.
If we
That's
look
crazy.
at all
What the
14-year-old
fuck?
males, those odds are about 1 in every 4,371. How about America's pastime? Baseball. There are nearly 9 million high school males in the U.S. The United States has clean data on high school sports participation, so we know this past year, a little over 478,000 of these boys played baseball.
It's not that many.
Jumping to the
Or am I tripping? Is
MLB,
that a lot?
72.2% of opening day rosters were from the U.S.
Holy.
We will weight this percentage against the 239 players that make their debuts each year, and multiply that number by 4 since we sampled 4 years of high school. So, just how many make it to the bigs? About 1 in every 693 high school baseball players will make it to the MLB.
That's also crazy. Bro, I'm telling y'all, if I kept with it, man, I would have been a baseball phenom. I would have been one of one. I swear to God.
All-American males.
Next
1 in
Shohei
every
Ohtani.
13,026
Holy fuck. Okay,
will make
that's
it
a
to the
little-
MLB.
It's a little difficult.
Now to the less literal, but more lucrative version of
But also, okay, I feel like those stats are kind of skewed, like the 1 in 693. Because if you're already in high school to play baseball, then you're already like, you've already made the commitment that this might be something that you want to pursue to like the highest degree, right? So like just at that point alone, there's already gonna be a lot more people who make it because of that. Most people stop playing sports when they enter high school because like they don't want to pursue it to a professional career, or you know what I'm saying, they want to go to the next level. Like that's when most people stop. This stat is kind of skewed towards that.
Now to the less literal, but more lucrative version of football. What
I
are
see
the
whispering
odds
in
of
my ear.
making it to the NFL?
NFL, bro, you're good. Oh my
Football
god.
is the mo-
Yo, okay, and y'all might think I'm capping. I actually could have made it to NFL. Just off of build and lateral quickness alone, I 1,000% could have, bro. Just off of my athleticism and everything else alone, I 1,000% could have. It's the NFL's one of the easiest sports to make it to, and I don't care what you say. Bro, you don't know how many basketball players I know who have stopped playing basketball because they knew if they started playing football, they would make the NFL. They didn't know they were going to make the NBA. They knew they were going to make the NFL, though, for sure. Pop, you look like if Steph Curry and Anthony Davis had a light-skinned baby. I'll take that as a compliment. That means I'm really good at basketball.
Most popular high school sport
Deadass,
for males
deadass,
in the
bro.
United States. Between all forms of American football, over 1 million high
shit.
schoolers play. Since you can't go to the NFL out of high school, probably for good reason, just for fun, let's look at how many of these will play college football. 77,204 will play some level of NCAA football.
Yo, Ricky, I appreciate the message, bro. I hope you've been well too.
228 rookies played in a game last year, and 96.3% of the league is American. Thus, we'll say 220 are from the United States per year on average. So, what are the odds of making it to the most valuable league in the
I like
world?
the marble shit.
1 in every 1,211 high school football players will make it to the NFL.
Damn.
Looking at all males,
The NFL still has a barrier though, which is kind of like the NBA, where it's like there is a size requirement and there is not as much as a height requirement, but like for a few positions, like maybe running back and maybe receiver and cornerback, like there isn't really that much of a height requirement. But for every other position, there still is kind of a height requirement. Body requirement, not really. Kind of. Like there is a minimum that you have to be at to be in NFL. Which is kind of like the NBA in that sense. So it's still hard to make the NFL. You need a bench 405 and squat 600 facts.
Will make it to the
Facts.
NFL. How about the newest major team sport? The one that started in a PE class a little over 100 years ago. At the high school level, a little
Yo, I
over
hate that there's a nigga in my chat called
537,000
Asian's Crusty
boys
Hat.
play
It's just
on a
pissing me off for some
basketball
reason.
team. And of those,
Oh my God, they're on basketball. Let me lock in. Let me lock in. Let me lock in. Let me lock in. This is what I wanted to hear.
10,117 will make it to the NFL. How about the newest major team sport? The one that started in a PE class a little over 100 years
The
ago.
greatest sport of all time.
At the high school level, a little over 537,000 boys play on a basketball team. And of
Actually?
those, 3.6% will play in college. That's 19,213 male college basketball players. Each year, about 93 rookies will debut in the top basketball league, the NBA. On average, 71 of them will be Americans. So, how difficult is it to make it to the NBA?
Too difficult.
1 in every 1,880 high school basketball players will make it to the NBA. For all males, 1 in every 31,450.
They're not doing this enough justice. I think basketball has the highest amount of niggas who stop playing in high school. I think that drop off from middle school to high school is so steep because there's literally levels to this shit. Like, they know there's no way they're making it. It's so like impossible to make it to that level. Like, where the gap, it's an entirely jump in skill. I think this is the sport with the highest amount of like drop off from middle school to high school. I stopped playing third grade, too many sweats. All right, well,
Looking at all our sports,
third grade's crazy. I ain't gonna
basketball
lie. You ain't even
appears
give
to
it
be
a
the
chance.
most challenging to make it to the
Oh,
top.
perfect. That's all I needed to hear. That is all I needed to hear. Basketball is 1,000% the hardest sport to make it. I don't want to hear nothing.
There is much to be learned from all of these games, but I believe we can learn perhaps the most from this last one, at least sociologically.
Oh, you caught my attention. You caught my
By the way, I
attention.
put a lot of time, energy, and research into these videos. So if
You
you're
caught my
enjoying
attention.
it,
Yup.
I really
Say
appreciate
less,
if you
bro.
subscribe. To understand this,
It's not
let's head back
1,000%
to the
of this.
beginning.
1,000% of this.
The year is 1890, and exactly one person is playing basketball. In fact, one is even aware of it because he invented it. By 1898, the game has caught on a little bit, at least locally. The first professional league is formed, the NBL. 6
Ain't
teams
that in
play
Australia?
on chicken-wired
Or is
courts.
it the NEBL?
The game is far from global. Canada is playing it recreationally, but these teams are composed of just local Americans.
Y'all think there's gonna be another sport that gets created, like something as big as NFL or NBA or hockey? And like, what would it even be? It would have to be something so innovational. Like it would have to be like something involving a new piece of technology. I think that's where we'll get a new sport from. Like, imagine if we didn't have gravity and like that was a sport.
Throughout the
It'd be
next
like
few
murdering
decades,
others.
the professional
Okay.
leagues struggled to stay
Jerkmate
afloat,
ranked.
and eventually the NBL
I'm glad
merges
that's where
with
y'all
the
had at.
NBA.
I'm glad that's where y'all had at.
This was important, but what was far more important was something dramatic that happened. Two inventions that would transform not just
Junior
basketball,
Dot is now following.
but all of
Thank you for the
sports,
follow. We have esports.
radio, and television.
That's actually a good point. Esports is the next like sport. 1,000%. No, Kenny, you're right. That's 1,000%. I think esports are the next like sport for sure. They're just as entertaining. It has more of it's an easier way to collect fans because all you need is niggas who play the game. It's not like you have to. You know how many niggas don't play basketball in the world? I think it's easier to collect esports fans than it is like to make someone like the NBA or something like that.
With broadcasting and
gaming's so, like,
advertising
global.
capabilities, sports became an increasingly larger business, driving revenue and growing games like basketball, but profits weren't the only outcome. Far from it. In 1978, something monumental would occur.
How many marbles do they
Except
fucking have,
this
bro?
was not
40,000. They
broadcast.
said at the beginning of the video. My
In
fault.
fact, this went completely unnoticed, at least at the
Posture
time, on a completely different continent, far
Yo, imagine watching basketball like this. I would actually end it all. If this was my viewing experience, yeah, count me out, bro. What's the point? Why even? Man, what am I looking at? How could you even tell what was happening? I'm so happy I was born in this age where we have 4K and OLED. I would hate myself to
far
watch
away
this,
from the
bro.
NBA. A slim teenager was busy playing
How were they so
goal
tall back
when
then?
a coach stopped
Man,
him.
they're always tall.
He mentioned
That's
he
not
should
a
try a different sport
that's not a
where
today
tall
thing.
people have an advantage.
Ooh, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Standing at 6'7", the Nigerian picked up the game quickly.
Ugh.
And a few years later,
Ugh. What is this?
scouts saw him and offered him a visit, an opportunity, all the way at a college in the United States. This was rare. To put it
Hey,
in
King
perspective,
Olajuwon wasn't from
this was
the
so
US?
rare that the college didn't even pick up the kid at the airport. That belief would change.
The Houston Rockets
Fucking
select
insane.
Hakeem.
Disgusting, bro.
The Dream would go on to
Hey.
absolutely dominate and
Hey.
become the first African-born player selected in the draft.
Hold on, this giving me chills.
He would not be the last.
Hey, that's a fact though. Superstars grow the league more than anything. And that's what esports is missing. We have the fakers, we have the 10s. We just need more. We need more dominant players. It's not good enough for everyone to be good. You need someone who's above the rest. You need yourself a Wembanyama. You need yourself a LeBron James. You need yourself a Michael Jordan, bro. Facts. He got a higher shooting percentage than you? He's Hakeem Olajuwon. What do you expect? Piss me off, bro. Oh my god, this is cinema, bro. What the fuck? This is cinema.
Welcome to Regal Cinemas.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Nigga made a movie. What's the video about? It's about how hard it is to make the pros, the NBA. Oh, they're moving. Oh my god, they're fucking moving. What could it all mean? Hey, I ain't gonna lie. If this is representative of basketball players, I got bounced out about like right here in the beginning when I went to the movie station and kept on going. That's where I got bounced out at. I ain't make it this far. I ain't make it that far.
And the whole thing started with a couple of peach baskets.
This is Solomon Alabi. Like Hakeem, he played in the NBA. Like Hakeem, he is from Nigeria. And like,
Yo, oh my god, the nigga made a 4-minute montage of marbles to arrive at this point. This is why I love YouTube. This is why YouTubers will always be the greatest form of media. Oh my god.
Hakeem, he played in the NBA. Like Hakeem, he is from Nigeria. And like Hakeem,
Who's last player to get drafted out of poverty? That's a great question, bro.
really tall.
How tall is he?
And
The
just
white
like
dude's
Hakeem,
tall as
he
shit.
grew up playing football.
Were you a soccer player first?
Everyone a Nebo
The only
baby?
basketball court they had wasn't really
Right
a
now,
court.
Loki.
It was made of sand. After players like Hakeem proved that there was talent all over the world, the NBA launched a program called Basketball Without Borders, a camp
Fire.
that has helped find hundreds of international players like Solomon.
I was praying, I wish I can be like Hakeem Olajuwon.
Expanding the game to the edges of the earth.
Trailblazers select Arvydas Sabonis of the Soviet Union.
Holy shit.
Rick Smits of Mary.
And it's from the trenches.
Mutombo from Georgetown University.
I guess we're talking about superstars, but there are also
Olowokandi.
a lot as hell. There's also a lot of role players who are not Nepo babies. American sports system gotta be the worst. What you mean you have to go to school to make it in most sports over there? It's not that crazy. What other system is as efficient? Like it makes sense because like from a recruiting standpoint, you have like a solidified system that works, and like that's where everyone will be. I don't know what other system could work as well as like going through school. Like they have things like AAU and shit, but AAU so, oh my god, I fucking hate you, AAU, bro. AAU is a superstar. It works for the stars. It works for the top 100 AAU players. It works for them niggas. Everyone else, it says fuck you on me. AAU's so stupid. It's so stupid. It depends on what team you're on. It depends on what coach you have. It depends on what circuit you're on. Most of the time, it doesn't even matter. Deadass. It's trash. Those pro teams don't even have youth teams. I'm trying to think like if we had like a Celtics youth team instead of AAU, because like you know how FC Barcelona, they have clubs, and, like they have the youth teams and they have the main team for the Euro League. Like all those clubs have their youth teams. Would that be better than AAU? Better than AAU, maybe, but I still don't think that's better than high school or like high school sports. There's also like a culture with it, you know? You're not getting selected to go to one of these youth clubs unless you're one of one, right? If you're a high school basketball player, anyone can play that.
Nowitzki.
It's a lot hard to get on the team. Facts.
Luol Deng.
American system is based on a business model.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That it would be even more of a business model if you involved like youth clubs. 1,000%. It would become way more of a business if you involve like a Celtics youth league
in the
or like a
2023
Warriors youth
NBA
league.
draft. The San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama
Adam Silver is so bald.
from
My
Nanterre,
lord.
France.
However,
My
I
goat!
noticed something interesting when looking at NBA players that grew up out.
What's your opinion on the Mercedes Ponton C63 AMG? Yeah, so my opinion on the Mercedes Ponton C63 AMG is probably like everyone else's. I think it's a real classy vehicle. The kind of contrast between the modern glossy matte black look between the body of the car, but also, you know, the body gives us a taste of old culture, you know, what Mercedes used to be. I think it's a really great contrast between the two. I think they low-key perfected it. That's my take. Sports in America need regulation style shit. Would be more fun to seeing Celtics get regulated to lower leagues. No, hell no. It's not maybe with a bigger. I think the problem is that works for football for sure, but football is so global and there are so many people playing football that makes sense. There aren't enough stars for basketball for us to do that. Like it's that big of a sport, but it's such a hard sport that we don't have enough. There are enough superstars in the league for that to be a thing. I don't think that would work.
Side of North America, they are largely.
I don't want to hear you ever talk about Jason Tatum again.
NBA tall. Solo tall. Just look at the top 30 players that weren't born in North America last year. Only one, Luka Doncic, was a guard, and he's 6'7", far from the traditional guard. Furthermore, for the top 32 point guards last year, 29 were from the United States, and 2 were from Canada. Only one grew up in a different country, Luka. Why aren't we seeing more solos at shorter positions? What's convenient about height is how straightforward of a measurement it is.
So hot.
This is where basketball is
tall.
Unique and extremely telling on the sports sociology front.
Right.
You know height is important for the game of basketball.
1,000%.
You probably
the average
don't
guard
know
nowadays is like
just
6'3",
how
6'5".
important it is. Let's take a look. Let's look at this positionally. We'll start with the
So Pop, why'd you quit basketball?
Center.
He's about to say it right now. This I don't know, description of why why height matters. This is gonna tell you exactly why. All right, go ahead and listen up. I don't even need to say nothing.
The average NBA starter is 6'10" or taller without shoes. How rare?
6'10" without shoes. My nigga, when they stand, they touch my ceiling. What do you think? Piss me off. My lord.
Well, using US
Parents should put you on
CDC
growth
data, about
hormone.
1 in every 111,425 males are this height or taller.
Oh my god.
To visualize this, if we were to fill college football's largest stadium, the Big House, there would be about 1 NBA center on average in attendance. For someone like Solo, the odds are even more
You can even
staggering.
dunk. I can dunk.
Only
Watch out.
1 in roughly 3 million U.S. males are this height or taller. A couple notes. The U.S. is taller than the average world height, and importantly, this is barefoot CDC measured height, not someone's self-reported height. Believe it or not, we tend to exaggerate this. At least
I would
males
never.
do. We'll look
I
at each
under-exaggerate.
position
I
per
tell myself I'm
100,000
6 feet.
males. At our next position, power forward, where the average barefoot height ranges
Why
from
didn't you become the guy that
6'7"
holds
to
the players'
6'10"
towels?
for our starters, you'd expect to see about 51 or 52 men.
Because I'd rather
per
make $5
100,000.
streaming.
At small forward, you would see about 411.
Oh my god, I
males
just realized what they're doing. This is the distribution of the heights. Oh my god, that's fine. Yo, I love this channel. What's your name? Michael McKelvey? I love this channel, bro. Hold on. We gotta start watching more videos from these niggas, bro.
At small forward, you would see about 411 males between 6'5" and 6'7". Moving to shooting guard, where the average NBA height was 6'3" to 6'4", you would expect to see 2,240 men this height.
Yeah.
And what about our final position?
Where did this nigga
Point
come
guard.
from?
This is Rob. I played with Rob in college. Rob is a D1 point guard. He is very good, 5'10". He's taller than the average American male.
And that's never gonna be enough in the NBA right now. Right now, the average guard is still going to be 6'3", 6'5". At least getting recruited out of college, you have to be cream of the crop. You have to be, even Jalen Brunson's tall, but you have to be Jalen Brunson's skill level. You have to be Payton Pritchard skill level. You have to be one of the best players, skill-wise, fundamental-wise, in the world to be an undersized guard in the NBA. It's so insane.
But in basketball, he is one
It's
of
so
many.
insane.
The average NBA point guard was 6'2" without shoes, and since a 5'10" guy can't exactly apply to be a power forward or center, that means Rob is competing with, well, over 97% of the population. Of the 100,000 on attendance at the Big House, 97,295 of them would be competing for one position. So if you're a 6'2" or shorter high school hoops player in the U.S., about 1 in every 9,206 of you will make it to the NBA. The margin for making it to the NBA is razor thin at any position. The margin for making it as a point guard is thinner,
Holy shit.
nearing the getting struck by lightning
Oh shit.
thinner. This explains something that is often wrongfully discussed. Why are there so many good guards? Or rather, why are there so few good centers?
Because they're the cream of the. Ooh, I love this video. Yo, on everything I love, Jalen Brunson, if we're talking about skill wise, Jalen Brunson is one of the best players in the NBA out of everyone. If we're talking about skill wise, Payton Pritchard is one of the best players in the NBA out of everybody. If we're talking about skill wise, fucking Isaiah Thomas is one of the best guards in the NBA or players in the NBA. These the guards that are undersized in the NBA are the cream of the crop. They are the best players in the world. No one can play with them, and that's what pisses me off about these 1v1 niggas talking about, or the people talking about, like, you know, Nas and all the other niggas in the Next Chapter League. They're tough, but when they call out the guards in the NBA right now, there are levels. There are so many levels to this. Raymond Felton, yes, he was skilled. It takes a different type of nigga to make it to the league when you're undersized. I promise you. It's one of the hardest things in the world. And that's why there's so many people who stop playing, because, like I said, what am I going to do when someone has the same exact skills as me, but 6'3", 6'4"? Why wouldn't they take the 6'4" nigga? It's like, it's common knowledge. It makes sense. Size is such a big factor. And that's also why niggas be pissing me off when they talking about it's hard to make the NFL than the NBA. You know damn well it's hard to make the NBA than the NFL, bro. You know damn well it's much harder. Because that's why you didn't...
There's Jokic and Embiid, a sharp cliff. And
Spurs
a few
next finals,
solid
who you
players.
got? That's not even a question, Spurs.
Then the Mariana Trench. And then everybody else. Despite a male population of 4 billion, there are so few that fit the center mold, we find a small sample size, which often leads to an increase in variance. But this doesn't explain why we don't see more international guards in the NBA. Clearly, there are far more people in
Isaiah
the
Thomas
world
is tough.
than
Isaiah
there are in
Thomas is
the
so fucking
U.S.
tough, bro.
Where are they?
NFL still almost
Here's
as hard.
something
It's
to
still
think about.
hard.
Would Ronaldo be kicking a ball if he was born in the U.S.? Would Kyrie and Fox still be point guards if they were born in Brazil?
Fair.
Probably not. The more average athletes, at least in terms of height, are choosing their cultural sports. For most of the world, that sport is football. The
That's what I
outliers
said.
like Hakeem and Solo, even if they started playing football, they're getting pulled aside and nudged with a, hey, I think you should try this.
Right.
And with good reason. How many Kevin Durants did Kevin Durant compete against? Probably less Chris Pauls than Chris Paul had to beat out. Basketball is a paradox.
Chris Paul is a
unique
great
sport.
example,
It is
too.
both globally inclusive and discriminatory. You have to be tall, at least if you want to make the top league. In truth, you also need another trait, even more selective. You have to be long. If height is the
Pause.
first measurement an NBA
Pause.
scout is concerned with,
Pause.
the second
It's a wingspan.
is a
for sure.
player's wings.
Every NBA player can
Average
make it
male
NFL.
has a wingspan
I don't
that
even
is
think that's
about
cap.
1
I
to
think
2% longer than
I think if you want to make the argument that every NBA player, if they had trained to play the NFL, could make the NFL. I think 1,000% you can make that argument. I think that's a 1,000%
height,
fact. True.
depending on your source. The average NBA player, their wingspan is 6.3% longer than their height. For reference, my wingspan ratio is normal. I am 6'2" without shoes. My wingspan is 6'3".
Lame ass nigga.
John Wall was the number one
think I
selection
got-
in Solomon's draft. However, his wingspan is
Holy
6'9.25", meaning he plays more like a 6'6" regular human. This is a crucial distinction.
Desmond
This
Bain
need
look?
for length withers our
Oh,
pool
Desmond
of
Bain tough.
potential
Watch out.
down even further. You can just see it in certain players.
Facts.
Guys that get more deflections or just kind of dunk easier than the rest of us. Their height is hidden in plain sight.
That's
So,
such a good idea. I didn't think
you
like no
learn from
people don't really think about wingspan.
Well, undeniably, some sports are more competitive, at least the odds of making it to the top. One could argue that a Canadian teenage hockey player is 3 times as likely to make it to the NHL as an American high school player is to make it to the NBA. Overall, in every sport, athletes face incredible odds. At least if
What
you
if
view
physicality is a
this
whole
as the
animal, different
point
animal?
of playing sports.
True. How did they get this soundtrack cleared? I know this shit must have cost a band. It's either that or this whole video copyrighted. Oh my god.
Growing up, my
That's
safe
brought back
place was
memories,
filled
the
with
fuck?
dreams of playing at the highest level, and I idolized those that did. In a roundabout way, many of us are tricked into believing that this is Eden, being that one marble that is the marvel. But this is a mirage. While we can love watching and playing sports, we all run out of talent in some way at some point in time. That is not a character defect. The pinnacle is not the point. The odds are only against you if you view it that way.
Hey, on me, that's the best YouTube video I've watched this month. That might be the best YouTube video I've watched this year. That was such an amazing video, bro. What the fuck? We need more niggas like Michael McKelvey. And talk to these dudes. The NBA is 1,000% harder, all right? I don't care what nobody says. The NBA is just the hardest thing to make in general. Basketball is the hardest sport in general. Fuck it, bro. Good video.